We jumped right into it. We didn't even put a timer or a countdown or anything. We're going straight live on this stuff today. So a couple conversations that we want to have as everybody comes into the end of the year. The discussion of profit, the discussion of income, the discussion of what you're actually going to use out of what you actually make. As real estate agents, unfortunately, we operate in a basis that we tend to be focused on one simple thing, and that's how much commission we're receiving in. But what we tend to fail at is realizing that for us to grow a business, we have to be responsible and treat our sales as a business income or a cost of doing sales. So basically, through this process, guys, we need to operate. I prefer the book of Profit First, allowing for the fact that you are keeping your personal production in your income, but doing it through the basis of your business income rather than your personal income. Now, how do I translate that out? And how do we have a discussion that is responsible in understanding that? Item number one, if we are looking to spend money, we need to have multiple accounts. We need to have an account that is storing our profit. We need to have an account that is storing our expenses. And then we need to have an account that is also storing our taxes as well. So profit, expenses, and taxes. Having three business accounts is responsible. But number two is focusing on the fact that once you have those accounts, not using your personal production in your income for personal use, meaning that you should define how much you're going to spend based on your own personal budget in your personal life. And that way it allows for you to grow a business, whether that's sole proprietor, whether that's an LLC, or whether that's an S Corp or any other type of corporation in play. Understanding how to use that constructively will grow your overall business and allow you to build up things like assets in that business. This is a great avenue to grow into wealth creation and allow you to have longevity in this business we call real estate. Because what tends to happen, and I've seen it all too often, is you sell a house, then you buy a car. You sell a house and then you go on vacation. You sell a house and then you buy something grandiose. But then you don't have the next sale to accommodate for what else is going to happen. And because our industry is seasonal, we have to be responsible about the fact that we're going to have up incomes and down incomes as we go through ups and downs in the market. Last year was a key point here when we went through COVID and understanding that as the market shuts down, we need to be responsible about how we grow. So, focusing on that and realizing that just because you made $90,000 in commission does not necessarily constitute that you should spend $90,000 in income. How do we focus on this? How do we pay attention? A lot of it comes down to planning, making sure that you're setting those plans in place today for us to be successful tomorrow. So, how do we do this? Well, first off is we need to identify what we need to live on in our actual daily lives. What our personal requirement to be successful with is for our car bills, our home, and so on and so forth. Now, remember, some of these may rotate over to be cross between personal and business. For instance, in your actual automobile, there may be some expenses that cross between business and personal, and understanding those might be successful for you as well. Now, should you have a conversation with a CPA or somebody that is a tax professional? The answer is absolutely. I'm just talking about the big items here and focusing on the fact that because we are in such a seasonal environment, we need to be responsible about how we pay ourselves. So this could be as simple as very simple numbers, taking 15% away for profit. So every check, we take 15% away for profit. Taking 20 to 30% away for taxes. This is responsible to make sure that when taxes do come around, that you're ahead of the game rather than behind it. Now, granted, you have to have a conversation with your CPA to make sure that that number is appropriate, but as industry average looks at it, 20 to 30%, depending on what your anticipation for tax bracket is. Then setting aside the rest as a actual expense account. Now figuring out, okay, how much income am I going to pay myself personally out of that? So figuring in that basis of X percentage or a flat base amount, that keeps your expenses on point and then allows you to use any of the additional amounts for your expenses, things like advertising, things like your car expenses, things like your client referral gifts. All these things should fall into that expense account, but so should your personal income. Now, once that's all said and told, then you allow yourself to use that profit in other avenues. For instance, paying off debt, making sure that you have really nice vacations, making sure that all those other things that comes out of your profit account. And this is how a business can be successfully run. Now, granted, there is different variants of this for every specific person, because you operating and me operating are going to be totally different. But I want to make sure that as we're sitting down for the end of the year, that we're being responsible about how we do things, because what ends up happening all too often is we don't start thinking about our income and our expenses until it's too late. We have a month left in the year. Make sure that you are defining what you are planning on doing next year, at least right now, if not 3 months ago. This can be done through a couple of different ways. Setting a budget is key. Identifying what you want to take out of your business for your personal income is key. Identifying if you want to go for profit, and if you are going for profit, what percentage of profit are you aiming for? And then last but certainly not least, translate all those three answers into how your business looks next year. Are you going to go for more sellers? Are you going to go for more buyers? Are you going to go for more referrals? What are you going to do to fix and fit into that category? Because as I've grown in life, my budget has changed, but it always changed to what I had available. Let's work that in a reverse engineering and work back to what we have available left after all the other pieces. Guys, hopefully this kind of translates out to you. If it doesn't, I would love to have a conversation one-on-one to show you how maybe we can get you to, one, a high profitability, but two, creating a business rather than just sales. Because if we stop selling today, our business may die if we haven't figured out how to grow that business through other resources. Once again, adding assets, adding detail, possibly adding people, and making sure that we have multiple streams of income coming in. But starts with one thing, and that's you starting to think like a business rather than a salesperson. Guys, thank you for your time. I know that we ramble sometimes on this show, and I hope that this was not completely a ramble, but more so a focus on how we grow our business and not how we grow our sales. Because oftentimes I hear about people growing sales without figuring out how to build their business. Guys, remember, I have no problem sitting down with you one-on-one through Zoom if you're not in El Paso, or in El Paso in person, to go through how to grow your business. Guys, if you have any other questions, don't hesitate. And remember, on Wednesdays, we have a Tea with Andrew series where he discusses all the tactics of what's going on. We're discussing this week the conversation right now going about what the Department of Justice is talking about on buyer commissions and commissions in general, and how the actual Department of Justice feels you should be paid. That's one. And then on that's one Tea with Andrew at 3 o'clock on Wednesday. That is Mountain Time. And then we also have a fundamentals class that is going to be transpiring with Nick and with Kent. Well, with Nick, with Andrew and Kent. And that's going to be going over, once again, creating that database and how to connect in the holidays to be successful. Tune in to that one on Thursday at 2 o'clock. Remember, those are both on our YouTube channels, our Facebook channels, and once again, you can always just send us an email and we'll send them back to you. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a great day. And remember, as the holiday season comes into play, lots of things start to happen. People start to move, people start to look for other homes, and we also get to focus on the fact that taxes are coming up, and a lot of people do use that tax return for their down payment. So that's a conversation we probably should start now rather than next year. Guys, thank you for everything. Have a great day. Happy holidays.